Hey everyone, Sawmill Charlie. Well, I was just looking out the window there. We're getting a little bit of a rainstorm here and all that. So I don't think it's lightning out there so far. All right, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. Let everybody that wants to come in can come in. There it is, pinned to the top. All right. Hey, Randy and Mike and DC. Hey, Jonathan. Hey, Chris. Good to see y'all in here. Hopefully everybody is surviving the heat and all that. Let's see. Hey, Keith. And we got Bill in here. Let's see what else. Who else is in here? We got Brian out from Colorado. So anyway, it was raining, or it's raining right now, but it was kind of hot today. It really wasn't. I mean, it was hot. And it was not the best to be outside, but around 3 o'clock, we had about a 15-minute shower. And now that made it steamy. As after that happened, it was actually more tolerable prior to that. Hey, Jack. And all that. So here comes Mr. Bill in. He's having supper like me.
Peanut.
Well, we're getting a pretty good downpour here.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a sprinkle this afternoon.
Yeah, we had a sprinkle here for about 15 minutes or so. I'm looking at the radar here. And then it was steamy after that and all that kind of stuff. But I heard it thunder here, a little bit of a flash of a lightning, but I didn't. It's raining quite a bit here, several inches probably. So anyway, I've been working on cleaning up my rain all evening here in Central Ohio. Okay, Chris. Cleaning up the extraction room or honey room, I guess you might say. The extractor and all that stuff's put away this week. And yesterday evening, I had drained the honey out of my uncapping tank, which is a Hive Butler. And then I had about 2.5, 3 inches in there a week or so ago. And I've been pulling the wax out and melting it in the wax melter. And so I had about an inch or so in there. So I finally got all the wax out and pulled it apart and drained the honey in the bucket. And I think I had about an additional 16 pounds or so of honey. So my final count is 855 pounds for the year.
That's a good year.
I'm happy with that. It's not, it ain't 1,000 pounds, but I'm within 145 pounds less than original. It's not so bad. Nope. So today, I washed on it last night as far as the uncapping tank and let it drip dry, and then got into it this morning here a little bit and just kind of wiped it down, cleaned it up, and scraped out any wax residue that it didn't. The bees, I actually put it out here, let the bees lick it up clean. Hey, Russ. And so I got it cleaned up, put it on the back porch for right now, and it's ready to be put away. So I took up all the floor coverings. I used the paper rolls. A friend of mine gave me the Home Depot brand of paper that they put it on. And So got all that put away. It's just been one of them things where you just been slowly progressing at it between how, with the heat and all.
Yep.
So I've got Sunday night around 7 o'clock, quarter of 6:45 to 7:15. I put 25 grams of Guard on, and doesn't look like I'll be able to do anything until about this time next week because of the heat. And now they're talking about August, beginning August. It's going to be the chill is coming in. I'm not sure how many degrees. I don't know whether it's 10 degrees or what, but I don't know. I just figured, well, if we get down around 70 some degrees, I'll drop 50 grams on them hives, and then put an additional 25 on 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yep.
And I'll be done as far as Guard goes. So anyway, that's what's happening here and all that. What's anything? I see you what is it? Transport
bee transporter stopped for fuel in Mount Jackson at the Sheets, and the original call was they dropped a hive of bees. We got down there was no hive, but talking to one of the other drivers on the fuel line, he said, "Oh, it was a big old pile of bees hanging on the back of it." He said, "Yeah, they're all right there." I said, "Okay." So we got a bunch of them on frames and searched the frame for a queen. There was no queen. So we put them all in a box, and they've got a queen now, and they're perfectly happy. They were very docile bees for being pollinator bees. So they were pretty easy to work with.
Hey, Nancy.
Hey, Nancy.
So did you have a queen for them?
Yeah, we put a queen in them.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Will.
Hey, guys.
Nancy, did you see something on Facebook where somebody, I didn't quite get it. I don't know whether it was, they put a queen above a queen excluder and they put some kind of mite treatment or something like that.
That was me.
Was that
I'm
you?
so upset. I'm so upset. My land's alive.
What were you trying to do? I don't quite understand what you were trying to do.
Do we want to go there? All right, you want to go there right away?
So your Facebook posts are coming back to roost.
I don't want to make you feel bad. I mean,
well, I know. Well, I'm done crying. I kind of licked my wounds now, and I'll just So
hey, clueless.
Formix bit me in the took us twice this year because it was too cold. So this is what happened. I'll explain it to you. So I had a window to use Formic. It was getting down in the 60s at night. It was going to be below 80 from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday hot, Friday hot, right? So I had my window. So I went out and I thought, well, you know what? I'll put the Formic between the bird boxes. I'll pull the queen out, put her above a queen excluder. You have to add a second box because they run up anyway. So I thought, well, they'll run up there. They'll keep her warm, put some frames in. But they weren't drawn out frames and they didn't have brood in them. I didn't want them to have brood in them because I was using Formic, right? So that was Monday. So today I think, you know what? I'm going to check on them because they weren't coming out of the colony either. They weren't bearding the whole front like what normally happens with Formic. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to just pop lids and peek in there. So I did that. And, oh, hi, Lynn. Brad. Hi. I'm looking at hey, Keith. So I thought, well, I'll just peek in there and take a look-see quick. And the first one I looked in, I saw her dead as a doorknob. So I thought, you gotta be kidding me. So I took it apart, put it back together. They were pulling queen. So the queen cells were 3 days old. So she died. She died the first night. They didn't run up to her. They stayed down with the brood.
Mhm.
So it was a gamble. Like my Formic still worked.
What was the idea of taking her out of the brood nest anyway?
Because I don't have summer solstice queen sitting in 5-frame nukes like I normally do. So I thought, oh, I'll pull her up. They're all brand new, fresh queens. I'll put her up. So that way, with the Formic, I won't, I'll protect her. I was trying to protect her. Have them run up there and take, keep her, feed her, whatever, and then let the Formic do its thing. Because you need to put an extra box on with Formic anyway. So I just thought, well, I'll just put her up there too. So it was too cold at night. They never went up. They didn't come out. They didn't go up. 6 queens. 6 brand new, fresh, dark blue queens I lost.
You bought them or did you raise them? You buy those queens, you raise them. Did you raise
No, they're
them?
all mine. They were all mine. Yeah, all the packaged queens and then the other queens I had gotten early on in April, they're all gone. They superseded them or, yeah.
How much is that?
6, yeah, DC 6. You think? Well, that's a good one, Thomas. They were all over her when I went up there. They were still trying to tend to the carcass. I mean, not a lot. 10, maybe 10 bees were on her. So I just dropped her down in. They were all making queen cells though. So I left more than this is gonna everything I do this year is a disaster. So Brad, I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, Nancy, I'm kind of feeling frustrated too. My honey hasn't been any good this year, and I've gone through a lot of queens this year too.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, so they're gonna try and I mean I don't know. Well, it's okay because I really I'm trying to downsize, like, really seriously. So they're all trying for new queens. I'm gonna leave them with far more than 2 just because of the time of year. I'm gonna leave them with maybe 4 on either side of the frame. I'm not gonna leave them with 2 or 3 clustered together. I'll leave 2 cells on either side, queen cells. So what's Tom? I can grab tomorrow and send you virgins in about 12 days to ship.
You got to get them mated though.
Well, so mine are 4 days in. So they knew.
You could come down to my house and pick them up if you want them.
They knew she was dead the first night because that was Monday. Today is Friday. Those queen cells were made that day or that night or whatever. Could have been made right after I did it. Who knows?
Clueless wants to know, how do you introduce a new queen to an insanely mean hives? The best thing to do is go into the mean hive, get rid of the queen, and leave it queenless for 7 days. And then come back, shake every bee off them frames and find out and kill every swarm cell, or not swarm, queen cell. And then once you know that you got everybody, no swarm cells or queen cells at all, then put the queen in and let her, get the candy ate out over a 3-day or 4-day period. And that gives you the highest percentage of being accepted. Somebody else was something, was it Brett? have honey taste like strong chlorine flavor?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are we talking about like chlorine in a swimming pool?
I don't never heard of that.
I haven't either.
And then what is clueless?
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna roll with what they're doing now because I can combine. So say worst case scenario, out of these 6. Now I didn't put all of them above queen excluders. There were some it was just getting too hot, and some I just needed to do. Thank goodness. But so there was 6. So I'm just gonna roll with it, and if they get made queen, I'm gonna feed them good. I'm gonna feed those colonies so that they're nutritionally sound, like they got lots of nutrition.
Now, clueless, are you saying that you tore down the cells or they tore down the cells? If they tore down the cells, they got a queen.
Yeah, they do.
If you tore down the cells, you know.
Well, there's 2 good ones there. Keith Spillman has a good one.
Right.
In response, yeah, I would just drop at least 3 frames. 3 frames of brood and a queen. Their queen of the 3 frames.
He tore down.
Drop that right. Yeah. Because if they're mean now and you take their queen away, they're gonna be even meaner on top of mean. I think, right?
Sometimes that calms them down.
Oh, treat them. OAV them. Give them a blast of vapor.
Dinah comes on here. She said that when the bees start getting a little mean, she'll hit them with OA, and it must knock the mites down to the point where they feel better or something.
Yeah, and that's the least invasive for you as the beekeeper. If they're mean, you can at least get up there and give them a blast of vapor. I mean, it's not going to hurt. Yeah, right, DC. They don't, right. I know. I just came up with a harebrained idea. And Bill, I saw you laugh at me. I saw you. It was a turn away belly laugh too.
I tried to hide it, but it just didn't work.
That's all right. I'll get you. Okay. What about this chlorine? You think it's from the? You think it?
Have your bees been going to the pool?
Did you rinse out your honey stuff really good after you cleaned it?
Yeah, really.
A little bit of solution, a little bit of chlorine solution in there would mess that up good.
Yep. He mentioned something about that. I did not use chlorine, so I have 2 hives. One hive, I can't click on that.
Where's it at?
One hive tasted great, but the other hive had a strong chlorine flavored honey. Well, bleach, isn't bleach chlorine?
Yeah.
More or less. Did you use bleach?
Salt. Is it that or is it some kind of plant around there?
You know, I know that you ever been around chestnut trees when they're blooming? I know they remind me of chlorine the way they smell. I don't know if that could make it impact.
You see what Tom's saying? Maybe the buckets are had residual.
Yep. Something like extraction process or after when you're storing it seems like it would make the most sense on the bleach.
All right, Lynn says they visit her pool and they never have any problem.
Okay. Yeah, I can't imagine how much chlorine water it'd take to do that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Will. I don't think it's not the water the salt they're bringing back from a pool or. Yeah, DC, my idea went sideways. Oh, all new bee equipment.
What kind of foundation you using?
Hey, Todd.
There you go, Bill.
Cool.
And Todd, the blue curl arrived today.
Tasted like chlorine from the comb.
I don't know what that is.
I'm going to say no, DC. I don't think the water they're consuming, because they're consuming that as salt, chlorine, bleach, and all that really just turns to salt, and they're utilizing that like we utilize salt in our bodies. I just would just think not. I don't have any reason just other than I don't think it's what they're bringing in.
Well, Brent, what he's trying to say there, it isn't true honey. Yes, the bees will take sugar syrup and turn it into honey, but it won't have any flavor of from a plant, let's say.
No.
Or, it'll be a neutral. It'll be more of a neutral flavor. I mean, you can still use it as honey for yourself or whatever.
Some flour. Yeah, Lynn is saying she thinks it's a flower too. But if he's been feeding, he's maybe, you.
Are you on well water or are you on city water?
Is he close to a farm that sprays?
There you go. Donna knows.
Yeah, but Chlordan, if there's a farmer spraying somewhere close by, Chlordan will also give you a chlorine-like odor.
You got a bad pear tree. Sometimes people say it's.
There you go. 500-acre cornfield.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yep.
I thought they didn't have chlordane.
Chlordan.
Chlordane.
Yeah, Chlordan. No, it is used still.
500-acre cornfield.
Yep. There you go.
Some of the stuff they treat corn with.
What would you spray that for?
It is used for. Let's see.
Can I bring it up? Can I share too? Okay. Again. Chlor.
CHO. I think it's how you.
CHLORDANE.
Termite treatment. Hold on.
It's also in 2,4-D.
Here we go. I got something up. It's
that's a broadleaf. That's a broadleaf kill.
Yeah, but that's what they use for burn down too. 2,4-D.
You see that?
Yeah, sort of.
Not really. That's
Use pesticide,
There you
particularly
go.
termite
Corn and citrus.
countries due to the persistence in the environment and potential health risks. Oh, soil, water, and air.
That's why I don't use Roundup anymore, because I don't want it in my honey.
Yep. But did you know that there is Roundup in 2,4-D as well?
Yep.
Yeah, we had some chloridane here one time. We had a dog that had fleas or whatever, and
Chloridane and chloridane is two different chemicals.
yeah. Well, anyway, we sprayed the basement with that stuff. You talk about you couldn't go there for 4 or 5 days. Anyway,
Yeah,
hey,
so Philip is of the what I was trying to say too. Chlorine is the sun just breaks it down into salts.
Yeah.
So, oh well. Put it back and let him have it till next year.
Evening, Barnhill. Brad.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Randy.
So what you doing, Will? Or you just been working regular day job?
Oh, I was going through them. I was going through and seeing where they're at honey wise, seeing where they're at population wise. I'm not real happy with what I'm seeing. There's not a lot of honey, and I think I'm not seeing them. I did a bunch of observation out the front. I'm not seeing any pollen coming in. I feel right now like I need to get a treatment on them. My Apiguard, as soon as temperatures, are going to work for it. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put my Apiguard on unless it's, 80 degrees or around there. But I feel like I need to be putting thin syrup on them right now, to tell you the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I've been feeding for probably 3 weeks.
There's just no food in the house. So that, and I'm putting some queens in. I come across a couple colonies that are queenless, or so I'm dropping queens in, but I'm just trying to work through. I'm about halfway through right now, and hopefully till the end of the weekend I'll be done going through, checking, seeing where they're at, queen right, seeing where they're at, what honey's out there, and then I'm gonna try and pull honey as soon as.
Yeah, as far as the ones that are queenless or you have to put queens in them, I wouldn't do anything except feed them and.
Yep.
I wouldn't treat them. I got some out here right now that are, I had to put new queens in them or whatever, and I didn't put any treatments on them. The only ones that did put treatments on are the other ones, the 10 framers. Yeah. Thought about putting some on some of my nukes, but I said, no, I'll just wait.
Yeah, I'm waiting for better temperatures, to do that across the board. So.
Right.
But I'll get the honey off, start feeding them, and keep going through checking for queen right. And just normal, kind of normal stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. It
seems like they've just stood still for the last month. You know what I mean? Population wise and everything else. I think our year's just been really screwed up with what food's available.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally the stuff I moved out into my production yards, literally it seems like they've just been in idle for the last 4 weeks. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that in like my nukes. I got a nuke that's in 1 medium, and yeah, she's laying, but the jelly in the egg area is not all that great. I've been feeding them, and and it's after June 21st, and the queens have really slacked off, and you don't have a flow coming in either.
Yep. So I wish I could just snap my fingers and everybody would have thin syrup on them. You know what I mean? But it's just working through the process. Honey's got to come off first and go from there.
It doesn't quite work that way, does it, Will?
Nope.
Yeah, I was wondering.
And it's been brutal hot.
Yeah. It's hard for you to get out there. You know, something that I noticed here, I put AprilGuard on late Sunday evening. I put that, there's a shim right there behind me there. It's about a 2-inch shim.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on top of the hive, put the AprilGuard on. I closed up the screen bottom board. The first, the day I did that was in the middle of the day, and there was a lot of bearding. And then I put the shim on that evening before dark and put the AprilGuard in. And I've been up there in some of these really hot days here the last day or two. No bearding at all. Hardly see any bees at all.
Yep.
And I think because of that shim, they're all up inside that hive, you know, just kind of staying out of the hot sun. And I've noticed that over the years where if it's a hot during the day at 12 o'clock, nobody's really flying that much. But around 3 o'clock in the evening, when the sun's kind of going behind the barn, or not behind the barn, but it's getting not as hot on the higher end of it, then they start flying, start looking around.
Yeah.
How's the rain been
Hope.
down your way, Bill?
Put hopes up.
Say what?
Good one.
How's the
Hope.
rain been?
We got to sprinkle. We got to sprinkle this afternoon. This month, we've gotten 2 3/4 inches of rain for the month.
Okay, I thought somewhere down in Virginia they were getting pounded a little bit.
Oh, they did down south, below south of me. They got really pounded. Page County got pounded, which is east of me. I mean, they had a lot of damage over there.
Okay.
Hope's got, let's see, got double deeps with brood only in the top.
Where is she again?
Is
She
that
in
Or is that he? I don't know.
Where are you, Hope?
Because that's and if you're gonna feed, like where are you at to depend on how much year you got left? Because I only have two. Last year I kept them. I closed them up September 15th. Usually the years before have been October 1st. But I only have two brood.
South Carolina.
Oh,
I wouldn't reverse them. I'd leave them right there like they are.
not down there. I wouldn't.
Nope. Even here, I wouldn't reverse them. I had a hive did that 2 years ago.
Well, I
would.
have. Yeah, I tried pushing some of mine into double deeps this year, and the ones that didn't do it, I took it off. But I'm much more north than I couldn't have all that extra room.
Bill, are
Yeah,
you
does she want
to
Say what? Say what, Will?
Are you starting to see the lanternflies hard down there yet?
Oh my gosh.
I'm starting to see some here, not a tremendous amount, but I'm starting last couple of days, nothing great.
I'm starting to see stragglers. That's another reason I want my honey off, and they're not really here yet, but I'm starting to see one or two here or there. So it's time.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. And
you can't walk out of my door without a lanternfly landed on you.
Okay, that's like it used to be.
That's what. Yeah.
Is the bottom deep full of honey? I doubt it. Usually put that above.
Well, it depends. Sometimes they'll pack it down below full of honey, and then they'll move up in the next brood box and lay the egg, start laying eggs.
And Jed here, he's out there in Utah.
Yeah, see, you can do that out there, Jed. We can't do it here. You used to be able to do it here, but you can't do it here anymore.
Labor Day. Thinking about doing it mid-August instead. Well, that's 2 weeks, right?
Their pattern is totally different out there.
yeah, they're totally different.
Yeah, it's desert, right? So that's why I'm wondering if they need to, if he wants to feed early. Like being out there, does that mean that you would have to start feeding 2 weeks early? Or
That's too far out of my league to even have a clue.
Yeah, because
it's a totally different weather pattern. It's totally different heat and everything else. And
that's a Bracken question.
Yeah, that's a Bracken question.
Him and Bracken have a talk show.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Glade out there. Now Glade, I think, is south of them, and he's in more of a desert area. I don't know. I mean, it's a totally different world out there.
Yep.
I can't answer your questions on that one.
Hey, Dominique.
So Nancy, you're not seeing anything coming in right now.
No. But if you got lanternfly, do you have lanternfly out there, Will?
Well, not yet, but I'm starting to see a couple, and I don't know. That's why I want to get my honey off.
Leave it on. There's commercial guys in Pennsylvania over here that had 20% increase in yield when that lanternfly came through. They loved it. They wish they'd be back.
Yeah, but I don't want lanternfly honey.
Why not?
Because I just
it has higher medicinal purposes. It has higher medicinal value than Manuka honey.
Well, in little Willie's brain, I just don't like the concept, so I can't live with it.
So bees have been feeding off of aphid dung for all time. They feed off a lot of aphid dung. It's just the lanternfly gives it a smoky plum flavor, so it's good for sauces and barbecues and coffee and things like that. A richer, darker. A guy here in Philly, he made a whole promotional market off of it.
Mm-hmm. Then when the lanternfly left, he fell apart.
I wouldn't have an issue with them I certainly don't have an issue with them collecting it for winter stores is what I'm hoping for. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with a guy. We were thinking about trying to run some down to Virginia just so they would store it up to put weight on for winter. You know what I mean?
Well, actually, yeah. Now, Darren says it's lanternfly poop, and that's not actually what it is. They actually suck. They actually suck the sap out of the trees, and they get whatever little bit of food out of it, and then they more or less urinate the rest of it out of their body. And it's more of
it's sugar. It's all sugar.
Pretty much sugar, yeah. Jamaica, wasn't he on your show last night?
He was. He's from down in a little island in the Virgin Islands.
Republic.
No, it's not. And bees feed off of aphid dung, lots of it. So don't get tied in a knot about it. I mean, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I pull mine off like around the July 4th area, and then when that stuff was really prevalent, I let them have it for the winter. It saved me a lot of
yeah.
Well, that's what save you a lot of feed.
Yeah, you could leave it on for that main reason.
Yep.
You're gonna want to give them Hive a lot in spring though to clean them out because you don't want them really overwintering on that harsh, ashy fall honey, like goldenrod and asters and mums and stuff's real hard on their guts.
Yeah, actually, John West, the marketing of that honey. What was it? The guy up in Philly,
Liberty Bell. Bell.
What was his marketing quote? He was selling it for extra money.
Yes.
When it first come out, people were buying it off the shelf.
So Robin Underwood does a talk on it, and it has a higher medicinal properties than Manuka honey. Robin Underwood from Penn State.
Yeah, I've heard her talk on it.
Yeah. So it's really, I mean, if people know what it is, and if you can identify it, it's not all doom and gloom.
It is easier to identify.
Yeah, it's
just
plum. It's like a smoky plum.
Yeah, it's a smoky afterbite. Smoky taste.
No.
It does. It's got a smoky taste and it's a bitter afterbite.
But Nathan is his name. Honeydew give the bees dysentery. No, the honeydew is mostly all sugar. When they feed on aphid, honeydew, it's pretty much all sugar. Oh yeah, Robin. She's done all those classes that I start and then never finish because I get too busy.
What was that guy, Will? We were up at the York Bee Club. He was in some kind of a classes with her, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
The guy, the guy that you went and got bees with, I guess it was.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah,
Rob. That was some artificial insemination stuff.
Yeah, they wanted to do a whole bunch of stuff and then just throw it all away at the end of the show. And I'm like, so I worked too damn hard for that.
Yeah.
Queen, it was the Queen Epic. The first class was the Queen Breeding Rearing Epic was the name of it, EPIC. And then the second one was the Dude class on the drones. And I dropped the ball on both of them just because I just got too busy. I was too much like school. That's what it is. It was school, and I was too much like school. Yeah.
Everything's invasive.
Yeah,
Chris, don't you know that? BB trees are invasive. Tallow trees are invasive. They only been here 300 or 400 years, but they're still invasive.
Yeah, they're invasive.
You want to kill them. Best honey flow there is. BB trees, invasives.
Well, those lantern flies came through here. We bought the house, I guess, 7 years ago now. And they came through and they wiped out all of it. I had dead trees. And they did me a favor. They got rid of all that crap. It's all dead. It blew over because it doesn't have much structure to it once it's dead. The trees haven't. So all that's laying down, decomposing now, and the lanternflies went down to see Bill.
Well, that's like what's her name from? You were just telling her what's her
Robin.
Talking about they were going to go around, cut all the darn trees down and everything like that. Well, they found out that didn't work. The bug is here and it's going to.
Well, they didn't have to. The lanternflies killed them.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, what I'm getting at is they were going to try to kill the trees in order. They didn't know what they were talking about at the time.
Yeah.
And then that's like they go running around. Oh, we got the emerald ash borer and we're going to kill all the ash trees. They're going to cut them all down. And we're going to say, I says, yeah, you cut that ash tree down and that bug's going to find something else to eat on.
Yep.
It might be an oak tree or poplar tree or whatever. So
golf clover.
I don't know. It's
good clover. Drop time. I'm like, golf clover. That's a new one.
That's one thing that's been hurting my bees is the clover's just almost non-existent in the yard this year. You know what I mean? In the baseball fields.
Because of all the heat.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yep. Now Russell says even alfalfa is an invasive species. I've never heard of that one. The only from my gathering of invasive, the actual definition, it just means that it just didn't start here. It was brought in from someplace else. I don't know. It's all people get all wound up about those different things. It's like multiflora rose. I can talk about invasive. We finally, I think everybody used paraquat on it around here for the last 40 years and got rid of it.
Yeah, it's not a deep rooter. You can just pull that, pretty much step on it and fall and it just I got rid of most of it here.
Multiflora rose, that's stuff that the Brit or the English people brought in around here for the living fence back in the 30s or whatever. Yeah, it's living already. Kits get wider and wider and wider. Everybody started taking 955 bulldozers to it and everything else.
Well, yeah, developing.
Yeah,
making developments. Get rid of it too.
It crowns out natives. Well, that's like we asked the rooster down there about
Mom's invasive.
tallow, and they said, well, tallow will grow up in a field that isn't being worked, but they brought it in when they settled the place down there.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Lynn, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Just like with the what was those bugs that came in about 10, 15 years ago? The little green
Stink
stinky.
bugs.
Oh, they were gonna take out all the whole corn industry was gonna go under, and it was just doom and gloom with that one too. And a couple years later, they were gone.
Now the big thing for corn is slugs.
Oh.
What's it do for that?
It's not the slug like you think it is. It's a different type of slug.
Oh,
And what it does, it's like a cutworm. It works on the root system.
autumn olive. Yeah, I've heard of that. I don't know.
Yeah, we got all here on the farm.
And then you got, well, I'll tell you another one that was on the farm was Johnson grass, going to be the great forage for the cattle. Now they're trying to
Just try and get rid of all of it.
Trying to get rid of it as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And then you got Japanese knotweed, and I'm like, yeah, that stuff is good. I forget, somebody was on some chit chat somewhere talking about that. And I forget they were going to, it was like, I would have liked to comment. And I think it was one of them. I know what it was. It was one of them homesteader programs, up here. It was down in I think in Tennessee, Columbia, outside of Nashville, or it was up there next to Front Royal. And they were talking about having Japanese knotweed. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I said, y'all want to they want to be beekeepers and farmers and all this other stuff, but yet they're going to take out something that is really good for their bees as far as nectar goes.
I don't know, Jack, Backyard Bees. Did that program fail? What do you mean by fail? Robin's.
What program?
The queen rearing, Epic. How did it fail? I don't understand.
I had Lynn sent me a thing for it where it had 70 slots open for free and all that, but I never heard nothing about it.
Oh yeah, Lynn's in the dude class.
Yeah, she's the
That's
dude.
right. She's here. She's in the dude class.
Yeah.
Everyone dropped out. Yeah, Epic had a grant for 2 years. Yeah.
Now, was Epic the one where you were in it and you got your machine and all that other stuff? Well, I think they're
Epic. Well, Epic was queen rearing, and I didn't really have a desire to get that into it because I don't really want to, So, but some of them got really into it and stayed the whole 2 years. And yeah, Lynn, okay, you did the queen rearing too. Did that peter out? Like, did everybody quit? I thought they made it all the way to the end with that.
Well, what I read on the description of it, it wasn't, this is how you make queens. It was more like, these are the genetics and all this other stuff, all the scientific, like if you were Ryan down in Virginia, Williamson, his level of queen rearing. And Bill, or
they were
Todd wants to know
inseminating
about soybeans. Well, As far as
There
I
you go.
know, they don't go to soybeans. Not the
What's
ones
that?
that I know of.
Oh, bees?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've had 30 acres of them here and they never hit them at all.
My bees love them.
Yeah, but is it the type of bean that you're planting?
Yeah,
It's two
it's the
different.
type bean we're planting.
Yeah,
It's a
it's got to be
it's a non-GMO bean.
right. There you go. Most of the guys around
Mm.
here are Roundup Ready beans,
Yeah.
and they ain't hitting them at all.
No, our bees love them. I got beans getting ready to
Yes.
start blooming in here now, and they're flying around the bean field now.
Well, it's just like cotton. You talk to Jeremy out there in Texas. Two types of cotton. There's the old time cotton,
Yeah, the non-GMO cotton.
non-GMO, and then there's the cotton that has systemic
Yep, they
stuff,
don't mess with that.
and they will not get any honey off of that at all.
Nope.
But out there, and that's another thing is like they had talks about non-GMO, like they're trying to make a rose and make a pink rose, a different colored rose or
Yeah.
whatever flower. And when they do that kind of stuff, the bees are not attracted to that flower at all. It doesn't have a smell. It doesn't have the color ratios that they can see, all that stuff.
Hey, bring up Flower Street's comment.
What's that?
Now,
That's an interesting comment.
I talked to the guy. I talked to a guy I know at the Beltsville lab, and if you listen to what the Secretary of Agriculture said, the lease for the buildings is being vacated by the government. There are 5 hubs spread throughout the United States that the departments of the Department of Agriculture that are losing their lease are going to be moved to. They're not closing the Beltsville lab. It's being relocated to a different hub. People in this area are all been out of shape because it's being moved or closing. It's not being closed, it's being moved. Because for years it's been here on the East Coast and it's been really convenient to the mid-Atlantic states. We can drive up there and drop stuff off. Well, we need to consider people out in the Midwest, how inconvenient it was for them to send samples to the lab. So now I understand what they're doing, and I kind of agree with what they're doing. They're getting rid of a high dollar lease because hardly any of the buildings are occupied now other than a lab and a few offices. And there's some big buildings out there. And they're relocating it to a different part of the country, to one of the 5 hubs that is throughout the country. That's all they're doing.
I've been down there. I mean, most of the buildings that I've seen down there are pretty much antiquated.
They got a couple of big newer buildings down there. And those are the leases that are being done away with. Yeah, one of them is Fort Collins, Colorado. The other one of them is in North Carolina. One of them's in Texas, and one of them is in the upper Midwest. And then there's one out towards the West Coast.
What's that, Nancy?
It's just Beltsville.
Yeah.
I just,
There was a whole video out about it. Yeah, that's the Beltsville campus right there.
When they say they're leasing it, who owns it then?
Don't know.
One building that I was at, it was a real teeny weeny looking building.
There's a USDA office in West Virginia near Shepherdstown as well that may be closing. They don't know yet. So,
all right. Does you want Michael to come do a?
yeah, if he wants to.
Hey, Michael. Yeah, if you want to. What's it say here? Yeah, go ahead. Come live.
All right, I'm gonna head out.
All
Night.
right.
So you're going to bed past your
I'll
bedtime.
stay in the chat. I'm just going to bow out of the stage.
And let's see. Ramsey Lab is in Boulder. Pretty nice. I don't know. They got a lot of things are taking place per se.
Yep. So there was one of the local bee suppliers around here that was highly upset about it closing or moving. So
He's a bee supplier, you say?
mm-hmm.
Here comes Michael.
There's Mike.
Hey, can y'all hear me out here?
Yeah.
Hey, thought I'd you guys are curious. I thought I'd show you real quick. So I got that box came in. I got it all figured out and put together. Yeah, trying to keep my big hairy feet out of this for you. I pulled one of the deeps off,
Mm-hmm.
and I was going to show you. I was talking to him at that hive I got mad at last week and was beating up on it and throwing it around. So here's one of my corners. That's when I talked about collapsing in. They collapsed in and started cracking on me, just trying to pop a box loose.
What? That's from your hive tool?
Yeah, that's from so that's from me going in like this and just doing that to pop the top one loose. So that's just my tool just caving the corner in. I think it's from the UV because I got another one over there on this side that started doing it. This is the second one. The first one I'd killed. This one I was more gentle with it, so I only crushed a couple corners. But I was out here playing with this, just kind of comparing the two of these to each other. So I went and grabbed some frames and threw in here and shoved them over like you would go to work your hive. I'm always talking about how tight they are. So since there's no bees in here, you can see I can't get my pinky down in it. It's a little less than the pinky's width in there. But I didn't realize it till I put it up here. I don't remember it doing this before. Man, I'm really trying to keep my feet out of your picture.
We're going to have a discussion later about your hobby.
Special looking bee shoes you got there.
Yeah.
But
love them shoes, man.
I don't know so this could be caused by any different reasons. So when I move frames over, yeah, forget it. Just ignore my feet. I'll stick my tool in and I'll pry, and that'll tend to
The box is separating.
Yeah, it'll pull it open a little. Like on little ones, I actually put like decking screws in the sides, so that'll pull. But watch what happens and I don't know if this is because I do that a lot or because of the sun, but watch. I'm going to put this in the corner of the bed and watch what happens when I push.
Get out of town. That thing racks that much.
Holy crap.
I mean, it goes back. But if you drop one with honey in it, you're going to have fun.
Done.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's because, and it could be because of the way I pry. I've done this for a month, so I may have loosened it up good, but it's just, something to keep in mind, something to watch out when you're pulling your honey.
The thing of it is, if your frame has got a little bit of propolis on the shoulders, your space in that box is going to be almost zero.
Well, yeah, the ones I have out there, So this is when I threw one. It didn't get really touched, so I just kind of got it off. The ones out there that have propolis on them, my gaps are like, I mean, they're like this. They're like non-existent
Yeah,
by
that's
the
what I'm
time they're in
saying.
there.
You got no room at all.
But that might be why I didn't notice this much give. My propolis may just have everything glued together nice and tight, where this one doesn't. So I don't have a lot of glue to help like make it stick. And these are just empty frames. You know, they barely got anything on them. They're basically clean. There's a clean excluder underneath this, and the gapping's weird on it, so they put a little bit of wax in. But I was trying them over. I just went and grabbed some frames out of the shed, just kind of whatever I had. I had that box laying out in the shed because I yanked it off, and when it started crushing on me, I just pulled it. But I was just kind of curious. I've never had my frames in a nail hive, so I was just checking the fix. It's one of the few ones I don't have, but I wasn't worried about them. I'd seen them because it looks, like normal spacing. So yeah, you can see this, my pinky. I mean, I can put my whole thumb in here. I mean, it's like normal spacing, like a normal bee box.
Yeah.
And then
now push that one up in the corner.
Yeah, it's like the way I like to work mine. I shove all 10 at once. I go right in and I push, and you can see my tool flexing. You don't have to worry about it. So that's going to solve my destroying plastic box problem, because that's what I usually do to them. I end up crying and just killing them.
Now I'll say this, Mike, when you put those together, when you clamp them down, they will not build propolis between the boxes. They'll build it from frame to frame, but they will not build it between the boxes because there's no airflow coming in around those boxes.
I guess I got to put together, right?
Yeah. The only thing is when you put bees in it, in that lid, they go, that propolis trap, the indentations go down. You're right there. And then the lid, if you pick the lid up and open up those vents on the side of the lid, don't ever open the top one.
Yeah, I saw it had the open close where you can rotate them.
Close them up, and those vents stay open during the summer.
Okay, so you run all 4 of them open?
All 4 of them open in the summer. It works like the gable ends of your house.
Okay.
And then on the windward side, you close both of them in the winter, and on the leeward side, you only close one.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Guess if anybody hasn't seen these. Got those. So yeah, the spacing in here is like a normal hive. Like, I make my little bars a little bit shorter for the plastic ones, but because some of the plastic ones get tight. But this one, it's pretty much wood. I mean, you've got working room.
Yep.
I've seen some of them.
You can take those wooden 10 frame supers and sit on there, and it'll fit.
Michael, it would be interesting if you had a tape measure and you could do the inside measurement on a wooden box and then those other 2. Just be interesting to see what the measurements are.
Yeah, I can. These are my homemade.
14 3/4.
Say, these are my homemade ones from cedar I did on the router, so they may not be like true, but depending on what my cutter comp, these things are like 10 years old. Yeah, they're a little funny. I have to usually run them together because I got them a little off.
But you can get the extra latches and latch those right down on there as well, and use the a nail cover on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'll go in the garage. I'll go grab a tape. Now I'm curious that you said that. See what the dimensions are.
What is it on the inside of a standard 10 frame? Is it 14 and
something?
14 3/4, I think.
Yeah, between 14 5/8 and 14.
I know it's 6. I know with a standard 3/4 inch, American 3/4 inch, pine, it's 16 1/4 on the outside, but I think it's 14 3/4 on the inside is what standard is. That's where you'll see that.
I might have an extra old box laying in the garage. Let me turn my screen off for a second so you don't have to see me walking around. I'll be right back.
I mean, that's what's going to tell a story. You put a measurement on the inside of
now the Enel boxes, they were made 3/4 inches wide, and filled with closed cell foam.
Okay, so those are standard dimensions of a regular box.
Those are standard dimensions of a regular box.
Yep.
DC wants to get vents. They sell vents.
Yep, they do. But you got to if you're going to put them in wood, DC, that normal 1.5 or 2 inches of wood, you got to lengthen it out to about 3 inches so you can get the vents in there.
What do you mean? But I don't follow you there. It's 3/4 inch box. In it
On the lid. On the lid. He wants to put them on the lids.
Let's see. So I didn't have a regular box in the garage.
That's all right.
So, and luckily I actually found the tape. Usually they're hiding from me. So let's see. We're going to say 14 7/8.
Yep.
Roughly.
That's real nice. Yep.
Yeah.
And let me try to get this one square before I actually measure it. Seriously, let me stick some frames in so I can tell, because I really can't tell. It's enough to throw it off some.
If you measure it diagonally, corner to corner, and you can move them so that they're the same, and then that'll be true square.
Yeah, my problem is I don't know if it'll stay. I pushed on it and it kind of springs different directions. Maybe I get some weight in it from the frames, then maybe it'll stay if I do that. I mean, I can measure top and bottom, side to side, and get pretty close. That's definitely not square. Let's see how square that is. Ooh.
That's 14 and 3/8.
14 and 3/8. Let's see if I get it square. Yeah, I got it pretty square. 14 and 3/8.
Yeah, it's 3/8 of an inch narrower than it ought to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess somebody whose name I won't say told me that he thought the measurements were, because I asked if he knew, because he'd been around a while. He said he thought that these are what he calls Chinese Langstroth measurements. Said they run a little bit narrower.
They're probably metric.
He's like, that's just the ones there that's the width they run them.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. They're 1/3 of an inch American.
Yeah.
Narrower than they ought to be.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's about 3/8. What do we say this was? 7/8.
14 and 7/8.
Yeah.
You got an extra 1/8 inch there, actually.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that gives you a little bit more room on the sides.
Yep.
On each side.
See what we got going this way. We got 19
and 8.
Yeah, 19 and 8. That's about the same that way. 19 and 8.
Yeah, 19th and an 1/8 is the right is what I think is there's supposed to be 19 and 7/8, and then you take 3/4 of an inch off of it, so 19 and an 8. The math works.
Yeah, I guess it's if you're buying frames, and that might be part of the Amazon frame problem. You're buying frames that are maybe made over there. The thickness of the bars here may be just a hair thinner. You know, like if you buy the I don't remember if both brands are the same, but one of the two main brands of the solid plastic ones, they're that little bit narrower right here. So if you had all 10 of those in here, you'd probably pick up just a little bit more of a gap that might make it more normalish, I guess. I don't really know. But I know when I was looking at frames, when I was making them, I noticed the width there on the solid plastic ones are narrower than the wood ones. For whatever reason, they do that. So. Beats me. Yeah, I kind of threw me off though because I had them up here and I leaned and I just kind of went, "Oh crap!" Yeah, I kind of threw me off though.
So, Mike, you being a plastics guy, right?
Yeah.
Is the problem that the temperatures affecting that box making it weaker? That it's given to the hive tool, or is it UV that's beating it up, or?
Without knowing, my educated guess, and I'm saying I don't know for certain, but looking at them, this is the better looking one. The other ones I've had out in the yard all summer. This one only got out there for maybe a month. But looking at, first of all, part of its thickness, it's thin. I mean, it's on the thinner side. I mean, I can go to certain areas that like here, I can push in with my thumb and leave a dent. You can't really see it on camera. If I wanted to, well, actually, I'll show
The
you.
plastic is giving.
I bet I can clasp the corner in with my thumb. See what I just did?
Yep.
I mean, that was me just leaning over with my weak hand with my arthritis, and I just caved the corner into my thumb.
So that's an issue of the thinness and the type of material that it is. Is that what that is?
I think part of it's thinness, part of it's UV, because every corner is faded, and that's where your plastic's going to be the thinnest if it's blow molded, most likely.
Okay.
And then like this one, when I pushed, nothing fought me back. So there's no like dense insulation but behind the corners. I can feel it. I can feel a little something up higher. That might have been my problem back here on this corner. If there wasn't anything in there, it was just a hollow bubble. And the UV, I mean, the plastic right there is cracking. I mean, it's going to split open eventually.
Does UV make plastic brittle? Is that what it does when it starts to break it down?
Yeah. The UV, it gets in there and it just completely breaks down the strength of anything like that.
Okay.
Now,
And Mike,
yeah.
those Enel hive bodies and the mediums and the deeps have a 10-year warranty against defects caused by the materials and manufacturing workmanship.
Okay.
So if anything goes wrong in 10 years with the materials it's caused by, plastic gets brittle, whatever, it's 10 years. So you give me a call.
Okay.
And I'll send you a new box for free.
Is that green box supposed to be painted, Michael, or protected from the UV, or
No,
are they supposed to be stable?
It's plastic. There's no painting it. It's colored that seafoam green color.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, if it has UV resistant in it, it doesn't have near enough. I don't know, since it's not mine, I don't know what's in it. Sometimes you can get a batch. I mean, depending who you're buying the raw materials from, you can get a batch where somebody didn't mix it right. I mean, that's where it gets into, like us, you pay, for what you get. So, we pay more money to get a higher end producer. So we really don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. But, depending who made it and where it came from, they could have been purposely cutting corners. Their supplier could have shorted them on UV and they just didn't know it. I mean, you aren't really going to know it until you make something, stick it out there, unless you see the reports from it. But, I mean, you know how that goes. If you're not the one making it, you can't control it.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
So you're kind of at the will of whoever made it for you. And depending where it's coming from, I mean, I've got one of the very first batches. So, I mean, they could be different now. I have no idea. I've only got the one set and that's it. I've seen other videos of people that bought them around the same showtime that I did with the same issue. Like I say, that's all probably from the same batch. And I don't know how big a batch is. I don't know if a batch is a pup, a full container I have no idea. But yeah, usually UV is the big thing. And like I say, the thinness, depending how you spray fill these, if you don't get the volumes quite right, the expansion rates right, like I don't think there's anything in that corner. If there is, it's super soft foam. It's not like a really small, like the the nails are probably this way, feeling the weight of it. I know the Apamays are, because I've seen cutout of them in half. There's a really, it's a really dense, compact foam, which is
I've got cutouts in the store. I'll send you some pictures of them.
I say, based on the weight of this, I mean, it's going to be dense. You can tell.
It is.
But when you see things that are filled that are advertised as lightweight, it's kind of like my frames. Everybody wants them to be lighter, but the only way for me to make them lighter is basically to put air voids in the plastic itself to take the material out. Yeah. So I think the foam in this, if I had to guess, it's probably a less dense foam, it's probably a bigger open cell. So I bet you anything, the R value for thickness isn't as good as some of the other heavier dense ones, because it's a pretty light box. I don't know what the weight on it is. Let's see. I know how much one of my frames weighs. I can guesstimate. I mean, if I was just guessing, I would say this Anel one weighs the same amount as this other one that's, looks that much thicker, but if anything, the Nell one's probably heavier.
Yeah, the Enel weighs 8.5 pounds.
I mean, this one's definitely not heavier, that's for sure. Yeah, about that on scale, but I mean, if they were the same R value, this green one should be a whole lot heavier. So I'm going to just educate a guess, say that's a more open cell, less R value, and this one's a lot more denser R value, so you don't have to have near as thick a wall to try to gain that.
So the yellow one's got 3/4 inch walls on it. What would you guesstimate the green one? Is that like 1.25 inches?
Yeah, like the Nell one, that's like a true wood wall, like a true wood dimension.
Yeah, 3/4.
Let's see. They've got the kick out for the boxes, so at the thickest point, I have to kind of look down and estimate.
Stand a frame up alongside it vertically.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's about 1.5 inches.
Oh, you can't get that tight again.
Well, I flipped it upside down. Let me get a little shower groove over here. Let's see here. You got the outer wall in too.
Oh, you could measure right there the seam that's pulling apart.
Well, yeah, that's true. Didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a good enough corner. You're at about inch and it's hard to tell if it rolls in. You're a hair shy 1.5 inches.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about the same thickness as an Apamate hive.
Yeah, and I know
And theirs is a 6.7, I think.
Yeah, being at shows and picking them up, messing with them, I know the Apamate ones that are this size are heavier. I mean, they're heavier for sure. They're dense like the nail dense. It's kind of like when you pick out a melon, they say heavy for its size, the way it looks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are heavy for their size. These are heavy for their size. This is pretty dang light for its size. I mean, I can stick my finger in the little vent hole and, one finger, I can hold the whole thing up and it's not hard. And I say I've got arthritis and carpal tunnel, so where this one puts some strain, you can probably see my hand shaking, put some strain in my finger where, yeah, I'm going to have to put it down. So, yeah. So, yeah, for what it's worth, I was out here playing with them and just thought I'd show you. I never looked at how these are connected. I know they kind of compression fitting into the sides. I'm assuming there's enough a cover for some type of fastener. I don't know. Never wanted to take one apart, but now I'm curious. I might take one apart. Well, let's see. If I push on it, you can kind of see in there. Well, I thought it might come apart, but I think it just, that side might. I don't know if you can get a whole view of that.
Yeah.
More of it stays, but you can pull it back.
From a quality control type thing, or are you thinking about sending that back to them?
Now, I think they said they have lifetime warranties on them, which is crazy, but.
Okay.
No, I mean, I don't know, it's probably not worth the trouble. I mean, if I send it back, I'll just get another one of the same thing. So
Okay. Bill would love to have
I might use them to, I don't know, make queens or something in, just to get a little baby one to start up. That way I don't have lots of things stuck together and lots of boxes. Just use them until the sun finally kills them, and then, that'll be it. If I don't have to stack them and break them apart to have them collapse, all I've got to do is take a lid off of them. I'm not going to be that rough on them if they're new, small colonies.
Yeah.
They had dividers that came with them to like split them, but those, I think they've already done a redesign of those. They just kind of, the original just didn't make it in one piece to my house. So, but that's been a long while. So hopefully they fix that. All right. Well, anyway, for what it's worth, something to look at. Checking them out. It is nice that they're actually like actual box thickness where I can mix things with them.
Yep, you can.
So, and I guess I figured the entrance is out. I figured the whole take it out, flip it over, block them out if you need to move them thing, I think.
Yep.
So
yeah, you use OA, so I'll send you an OA kit for them too.
He doesn't use
I don't know.
anything.
I don't use anything, so
Oh,
I don't need
okay,
anything.
never mind.
Yeah. Yeah,
And she sent you a solid bottom board, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, because I've switched to solids. I like how they have the drain holes in the bottom of them. That's nice.
Yeah.
I pitched them forward a little bit anyway, but I'm on top of the hill, so we get good storms up here. So yeah, having those vent holes, that'll take care of anything that leaks itself back in. Between that and then them having the little openings there at the entrance too, that'll help. Just normal stuff that lands go off. So I think I'm gonna. I tried to get to the bee yard a while ago, and apparently I've got a whole lot of cutting grass to do to get to them. So I'm gonna try to get out there Sunday, and I think I'm gonna take the rest of this one and put in this one. Same bees, same everything, so I can just see how they react to it. So yeah.
Now, the one thing about these Nell hives, Mike, is the bees will work in these hives when wooden hives are bearded, and they will work in the heat.
Yeah, I've still got, as hot as we've been here, we're in the temps. We're hitting 98, 100 degrees every day, for weeks now. All my big Vitex out there, Vitex just keep blooming. So I've got bees all over those things still working and bringing stuff in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not enough to support all of them, but there's still some stuff coming in. And once I can cut myself back to my yard back there this weekend, it'll be time up for me here to start putting some feed on in the summer. Try to, make sure everything looks good going into fall. We usually get we've got enough rain this year. We should get our normal goldenrod flow back. And I usually actually get a goldenrod crop. I'll get an extra super on top of their winter stores that I can extract off every hive if it's just normal. So I'm going to get them all built up and ready to go for that. Put these in here. These are ones I was trying to get more standard frames drawn out for pictures, and that was a bust. Got too dry. So I'll pull some of my small cell bees out of that hive and pop into here. So. All right. I'm going to go clean up, pick up, jump off of here.
Hey, thanks for bringing this all on.
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah. I'll see if I get any angry emails this weekend and let y'all know how it goes.
So just when you opened the box, did you get any odor off the plastic?
Did I get any what?
Odor.
I didn't notice anything. I mean, I didn't stick my face down in there, but it wasn't like I opened it up and there's nothing noticeable. Just like stick my face up in here and take a whiff, huh? But I mean, I'm used to smelling plastic every day, so like I don't notice those things unless I actually try to pay attention to them. No, I don't smell anything. My nose right on top of it. I'm guessing
Yeah,
the way it feels is it polypropylene?
it is.
Yeah, like I thought it felt like that. We most everything else we make for all the other parts of our business are all different grades of poly. So it's pretty good durable stuff. It lasts a long time.
And when they make it, the cooling process when it comes out of the molds over in Greece, they cool it, and it'll sit for sometimes a month before it's ever shipped. So there is no odor when I get them. So
really,
there's no odor when they open the sea container when it's full of them. So and they're shipped just not in boxes, but open like that. That's how they're shipped.
Poly doesn't really off gas bad like some stuff does anyway. So it's pretty good. Just as it's a good general purpose. You use it for a lot of stuff material, just because it's pretty durable and you do a lot of things with it. We make our chair seats and backs out of that for kids, and we've been making. We've had chairs in schools for decades, and we've never got a warranty call to replace anything. I mean, they've been around. Kids sitting on them every day, beating around on them, 20, 30 years. We put UV stabilizers in ours too, just in case, they have them by a bunch of windows in the classroom, just to get that secondary little bit of UV. But I actually have some chairs that they're like rejects because of a flaw in a frame or something that we use to prop. Sometimes, like if we've got 22 overhead doors on our factory, so if it's storming. The rain comes in. We want to shut the door down to keep most of it out, but we still want, some of the heat to get out of the building. So we've got little chairs we just prop underneath the overhead doors that, prop them up a foot or whatever the size of the chair is. And the doors get opened up, and they usually just sit there all the time in the sun. I've had some in my welding room that have been there 15 plus years, sunlight all day long, and they're faded now, but there's not a crack or anything on them. And those, we didn't put heavy UV in them like we do the frames. No, that's just secondary. So I'm sure these things have got, a hefty bit more UV protection than what my chairs do. Since they're designed for outside, you assume. So
yeah, there's a lot of engineering that went into those boxes when they started making them.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll wrap her up and clean up here. I'll get off y'all's screen so you can go back to talking about something interesting.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Yep. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I'll catch y'all later.
All right.
Yeah.
That's an interesting one on the queen excluders. Way back when Bob made a comment on queen excluders, Bob Binney, and he measured them, and there were some issues with some widths with them, but I don't remember from his video if he actually talked about, the size of the gaps or not.
I think it was. I think it was date and plastic excluders.
Does that ring a bell with you too?
I remember him talking about it. I never liked the plastic. To me, the plastic has that sharp edge to it.
Yeah, they're trapezoid.
I think the original ones were square off. I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the reason that the wire ones are 0.7 is it's a round bar, and the plastic ones are the trapezoid. And if you measure the top of the trapezoid, it's probably 0.7, and the bottom is 0.65.
Are they rounded on the plastic, or is it kind of?
No, it's a sharp square cut off corner.
Yeah, maybe you might be right there, Mike, about the out specs and stuff.
It might be. I know there's some of them that you can get that are wider, and I forgot who makes them now.
There's ones that the older ones and the better ones I think that I've seen are round bars in both directions.
Yep.
And there's some new ones that came out that are round bars lengthwise, I'm going to say, front to back. But the side to sides are actually look like they're folded, galvanized,
Flat steel.
Yeah, like tin, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I
thin.
know what you mean. I haven't seen any of those yet because all of mine are the bar, lengthwise and cross, and I've never seen a round plastic one.
Yeah, I've got the round metal, and then I've got some of those newer ones that are like the folded sheet metal. I like the round bar ones better, both directions.
Yeah.
I never ran plastic. I always made steel. Something I do like it. I don't know. I started out liking the wooden bound ones. I think because I can see them better in the hive when you're walking up to it.
Let
They
me
do
tell
make-
you, the metal ones are
Yeah,
a
they're
little
metal,
bit smaller.
wooden bound with metal.
Yeah,
The
the
only
metal
problem
ones are a
with
little bit smaller. The wooden ones are very, very, I think, very much nicer to work with.
Mm-hmm. They are.
The only thing with those is you'll get a little bit more propolis
Because they're thicker.
or burr comb on them more so because of the distance. Or
Well, the bitch of it is the metal ones are made of a size that you can put the wood around it.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just a little bit small if they're not bound in wood. You know what I mean?
Yep.
yeah, I got some. I forget where I had some of my wooden bound ones are a little thicker on the wood side. I think are like 3/4, and then
Oh, really?
thick wise or maybe 1/2 inch. And then I got some new ones here recently. They're a little on the thinner side. They're a little bit more flimsy, I'll say.
Yeah, but that helps with your burr comb part, probably.
Probably.
Need a queen excluder for a 6-frame hive. Well, I got them for 5 frames. There's only one place you can buy them for 5 frame, and that's down there in Georgia.
Yeah, that would be a good reason to buy a plastic one. You could just cut it down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think about buying one plastic just for like my cell builder.
Yeah.
Six-frame highs. I wonder if Brad or Ian or somebody like that would know you go to Canada because they use 6-frame up there all the time.
Yes, it does. A 10-frame excluder will fit. Oh, I'm not sure about the Hilco. I know the Dayton wax melter will sit right in.
That's what I did. I got a homemade solar wax melter, Chris, and I put all my. It's wide enough and big enough. Nancy taught me that here several years ago. Put that queen excluder in there, and if you got like a good hot day like it was today, it'll melt that stuff off. Man, you talk about a labor saver.
Man, I agree.
Put one of them in there every day, and as long as it's a good hot day, man, that all I do is take that there queen excluder cleaning tool and just kind of run it across there, and it's it saved me hours of time using a torch. And
when it's hot out, it melts them clean. You know what I mean?
I used to use what do you call it? Not a torch, but a
heat gun.
A heat gun. The one today was pretty clean. It wasn't completely clean, but it was, it was so hot you had to have a glove on
Yep.
to hold it. Even with the wood, because that wax and whatever that propose was, it'll burn you. Chris says the metal really sticks to the boxes. Yeah, the problem I have with metal queen excluders that are not wooden bound, it's hard to see whether or not there's one in there. And then I always feel like when I'm prying on that edge of that box, I don't want to, bend the bars and stuff. I feel like I got to really watch about, bending the bars.
If I get a couple minutes sometime over winter, I'm gonna cut a whole bunch of, I don't know if you want to call them slats or what, but I'm gonna cut a whole bunch of that, and all mine are gonna turn into wooden bound queen excluders. Because like I say, it's the same thing.
Just take a board and rip the board, and then I would say you probably could put it on a table saw, and as long as you're careful, put it up on its edge, and then run a.
I think without a doubt you could do that.
In actuality, the way you would do that, take a wide board, put it on a table saw, cut the edge, put the groove in it, and then turn it sideways and cut that piece off.
Mm-hmm.
And then just 45 it and all that. Yeah, you could take a table shaper table with a router on it and do it that way too.
Yep. I mean, all you need is what, a kerf?
I'm thinking that would do it.
That's all I'm thinking of is it's either going to be 1/8 of an inch thick or 3/16. My saws are 3/16. Probably yours is 1/8 of an inch. Tom wants to know whether or not he sent you any pictures on his 2-way pallets.
If you did, I didn't see any. Would you have put them on Facebook? Or would you have sent them to my cell phone? I'll dig here a little bit. Yeah, I probably owe you a couple measurements or pictures off of mine yet. I'll be curious to see him, Tom.
Tom, he's got a skid steer like yours, I believe.
I didn't see any, Tom.
Well, Philip, I think that you got about a 3/4 inch wide board there on that queen excluder. You're going to cut a groove in there so it's going to fit. It's going to, lap in like that on the metal, so it wouldn't be any wider. It might be a little bit wider, but who cares? I mean, that way you can see the queen excluders there. Some people have problems, and I can see why now. Oh, I forgot you didn't forget. You just didn't see it there. So anyway, I was watching Tom and Melissa last night. I think it was last night on the chat. They were showing off their honey extraction setup. It really was very nice. And it had that new company out that's got those bucket alarms, and he had a thing there that
Oh yeah, I'm seeing the pictures, Tom.
He doesn't have your phone number.
Yep. No, I just pulled them up on Facebook. I'm seeing them now. That's great.
He had a, what do you call it? Like a slump pump, a float that turns the pump on and off for pumping the honey out of the clarifier.
Hey, Tom, looking at them, I think they look great.
Oh, you doing any farming down? I guess it's raining like here down your way. We baled hay Tuesday and Wednesday.
No, all I've been doing is cleaning up around the edges of the field and, bush hogging what they didn't get. So. Oh, the grass is coming back on again now.
Yeah, we I baled at my brother's place. He had 2 pasture fields with that barren, and then we baled the next day in the front field. I mean, it was second cutting. It was light.
Mm-hmm.
And, the only problem is you had that new baler, and both days had the same problem. It's like it had, as the bales were coming out, it wasn't individualized bales. It didn't tie. It just pushed the hay right straight out with a string going all the way out and around. And I found out that baler has a disengage arm on the knotters. And my son was saying, well, I baled 11,000 bales and didn't have any problems. I said, well, maybe that thing's loose, or maybe, to see what that arm is right on the teeter-totter point of making the knotters work. And
has it been greased?
Huh?
Has it been greased?
Yeah, it's got actually, that baler actually has a grease gun on the knotters that go to all those points with you press the one and it greases all the knotters, all the knotter points, grease points at one time.
That's good.
Hey, Alicia. I don't know. Then we had one where they were tying the bales, but one side didn't tie. Well, I said, yeah, there's stuff on the bill hook, which that's normal.
Yeah.
But see, it doesn't have New Holland knotters. It's got those other kind.
Oh.
I forget what the name brand is. The ones they use on Heston, the big balers. Those big, all those big balers have a different type of knotter. I forget what it's called.
Yeah. It ties them a little bit tighter.
I don't know much about it. They look kind of the same, but I started at 2:10 and all the hay was in the barn at 5:30. But we only had about 300 or 400 bales.
I was going to say, if you were done by 5:30, you didn't have many bales of hay.
No, not really.
So we covered hay this morning.
And all that kind of stuff. But I didn't have to touch anything. That was nice. And I got a little more understanding how all this different stuff works and everything. And looking at, it has signals where it's beeping and carrying on, all that kind of stuff. And the first set of beeps is when it beeps, that's when that thing's ejecting a bale out onto the ground. And next time it beeps, it's tying up the next bundle. Yep. Tom, Bill's got cattle. I think you do, don't you?
No, not this year.
No. I
Nope.
thought you said you were thinking about buying some because the prices were down.
Yeah, yeah, they were down $2.
But
I'm looking this fall. I'll probably looking at some cow calves.
yeah, my son and his wife bought a Wagyu cow and calf.
Yep.
He went all
spent
the way.
some money on that.
You know where he said, yeah, someplace in Georgia. I said, where's that? Where we're at in Georgia, you know, because I go down there. He says, shoot, where's that bee place down there in Georgia?
Which one?
Yeah, I know, but the one that you see most of,
Gardeners?
yeah, Gardeners. What's that town called?
I don't remember.
Well, it's right down past that. There's some big stockyard down there someplace.
Yeah. He spent some money on that cow and calf. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think so. But
Plus
they wanted
having
to
it
get
shipped all the way up here.
Huh?
Plus having it shipped all the way up here.
No, he went down and got it. Him and his friend. Yeah, Tom, Kobe. I don't know if it's Kobe beef. Yum, I guess is what it's called. They want to get into that. They were looking at stock out, and they flew out to Texas where they had that big flood. Somewhere's in that area, down in that area. They knew about where that flood was and everything.
Can I bore everybody for just a second and talk to Tom about the lids he's going to make?
Sure, go ahead.
So Tom, when you look at a migratory lid, if you're still on here,
He's on here.
When you look at a normal migratory lid, the end cleat that runs vertically, that extends down over the box below, is normally dadoed out of a piece of pine. And that gives your extension down over the box, and it also extends up to the same level as the top cleat on the lid. Now, when you make them out of HDO, okay, like Bob makes them out, Benny makes them out of HDO, and what he does is he'll make that HDO plywood extend the whole way flat. And then instead of dadoing a piece of wood out for the end, he'll run it the whole way out. You usually give yourself like 3/8 of an inch of play, you know, lengthwise on the length of the board of the HDO. And then if you go on Bob's website, he has thin strips, 3/4 inch strips of HDO that he nails up to the bottom of the lid. That gives you a continuous cover across the top, and then you've just got these small cleats on the bottom. I kind of ran into problems with that. I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, Bob's all on top of that. But for my application, I didn't like just having those 3/4 inch HDO strips for cleats underneath that extend down the sides of the boxes. Because if you put a 3/8 inch rim, you know, which I'm doing, that only gives you 3/8 of an inch of coverage for jacking back and forth with that lid. So I went through and I actually made bigger cleats out of regular pine for on the bottom. And then I also put flat cleats on top, but I'll hit you with what those measurements are, and it gives you more extension down over the sides if you want to put, you know, the little rim on, the little feeder rim on, you know, to give you a little bit of clearance from the top of the frames to the bottom of the lid. I'll shoot you the info on that, but I just wanted to kind of reach out to him and just kind of, in case he started cutting his HDO lids, to make sure that you run them long enough to give yourself 3/8 of an inch plus the thickness of whatever your vertical cleats are going to be going down the bottom. So just wanted to catch him on that quick. It was too much to text.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he had some of Benny's lids. Did you see his text, Will?
Oh, I'm looking here.
It says, please do, he said, haven't settled on anything.
Okay.
Hey, James Lee. What's happening up in Michigan? Working on some queens up there, I know. He's actually, and then James, you actually have you kept saying up in Forest Hill. I was like, well, that's right around my corner. There must be another Forest Hill town of Forest Hill where he's got his bees at. Yeah, DC, we had a lot of, between being cold in the spring and then rainy weather, especially when the flow was on. So, James, are the bees crazy? I don't know. We didn't have a whole lot of hay in that field. I don't know, probably 700-800 bales in the whole field over the 2 days. But I didn't have to touch nothing. That's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, it made actually making hay, square bales, enjoyable.
Yep.
And all that. But I was getting, like I was saying, about understanding how that machine works and the bells and the whistles that tell you what everything's doing. And then I bought that computer screen that goes with it and shows you as it's filling that machine up, you know what's going to be happening pretty soon,
Yep.
and all that stuff. And I had a few problems where I had to, on the Baron, there's a turntable that it told there was an error message come up, and I had to go back there, and then I had to clear the error message through the computer, and then tell it to go back on automatic. And we got Matt here. He's got a big question. How do you get your bees ready to make goldenrod honey? Should I feed them up before the fall flow and put the supers on when it starts, or feed them up after the fall flow? For me, I don't get a fall flow when it comes to goldenrod. They'll get pollen out of it. It's more of a roadside weed for me. Some people do get a flow from it, but I don't.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can tell you, Matt. But no, it was like, I'm not as intimidated with it. Yeah, DC microclimates definitely. I can go 20 miles one farther, from a friend of mine's, and his is totally different than mine.
Yep.
But he lives next to the Susquehanna River and stuff like that, which makes a big difference. They got a lot of watershed property there that, stuff, natural stuff grows. Yeah, Tom, that's about like me. They might get a little bit of nectar out of that because I've had complaints of my bees visiting the local swim club. And as soon as goldenrod came in, then they had something to do instead of going to their trash cans.
Yep.
Now, if you get a Hodge flu, all right, well, that's great. If you do that, hey, Blake, there ain't nothing blooming around here now.
Nope.
Except for lanternfly. Blake's lives a couple miles from my house. So, Blake, are you home, or are you in some other state flying airplanes? Or not flying airplanes, but refueling airplanes. 50,000 feet up. Or whatever they fly, 30,000 feet. We've got a few bit of lanternfly. Well, yeah, I know, James. I get the same problem. I get pollen bound. I got lots of pollen here. So you finally got hired on as a commercial airline pilot, huh? That's good.
That's great.
Blake's a boom operator on a what do you call it? A refueling tanker.
Yep.
Isn't that what the guy in Florida is, Charlie? Isn't he a commercial pilot? What's his name?
You mean the guy that puts on the bee videos?
Yeah. What's his name?
I don't know. I think he's a retired pilot.
Oh, okay.
Blake's been in I'll say the Air Force, National Guard, and the Air Force. And
Chuck.
He's been working, getting his air time in, I guess you'd call it, to get all the hours and stuff in and all the requirements and his goal was to become a commercial airline pilot on top of all that. So It sounded like he finally got a break and got into a job.
Yeah, it sounds that way.
And I think they're trying to find I think there's a lot of folks are retiring, and it's a good time for him to jump in there. So Hope says he still flies.
Chuck does.
Chuck. Well, guys, it's 10 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and shut the chat down. Hope everybody enjoyed Michael's little live show, and everybody got some different questions answered and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see you next Friday at 8 p.m. or we'll see you Monday at 8 p.m. on Bill's channel, Bees All Day.
Yeah. See y'all Monday night.
All right. We'll see you
Hey
now.
guys.
Bye.
Night.